DemonKyo here. So we're here with episode 2 of the Trap House, and today we'll be focusing on the Resuscitation Ninja and the Summoning Jutsu Toad Shop technique. As always, if there was a trap that you missed from previous surprise attack mission, you can find them in the Fortress Metal Shop. You'll see here we have the Toad Shop for 3,500 Fortress Medals, and then we have the Resuscitation Ninja for 5,000 Fortress Medals. It's definitely in your best interest to get any traps you don't have, as you want more options to defend your base. You can never go wrong with having something that you might not need but have access to versus something you need but don't have access to. So just get it. So that being said, we're going to look at our fortress. Traps are always in the installation tab. The Resuscitation Ninja is in the summoning tab, right in the installations, right after the Shinobi formation. So the first thing you'll notice, actually let's go here. So you'll notice it's a 10 capacity trap, which means it's going to take up half of your trap capacity for room, because the total only being 20. It does have a 3x3 area, so it can only go where most defender squares can go. It's not going to be able to go like in the those corridors. So what the Resuscitation Ninja does is it summons a defender, and once you kill it, it gets revived with 50% of its health. It's worth noting that you don't have to clear the Resuscitation Ninja to 3-star base. This is pretty much used as an extra defender, as a stall tactic, or a kill tactic, depending on like the difficulty of the Shinobi. That being said, there's not really much to talk about for this, so we're going to actually get into the base. We'll be using NxB. The only things worth noting are how long it takes for the enemy to get back up, and then how long they're invincible once they've revived. That's my alarm. So we're going to kill him really quick. So you notice he's down at 227, so he's up at 225. So there's a 2-second revive time for the Resuscitation Ninja. Once you've killed them, essentially you have 2 seconds to kind of run around the room, get your bearings, clear any traps you want to clear. Next, we'll talk about the invincibility that happens right after they're revived. So there's a time limit where the defender is invincible. Essentially, they'll take no damage. Everything counts as a miss right after they get up. And again, that's about 2.5 seconds. So you'll notice he's down for 2 seconds. And as soon as he's up, I start missing. We did get a little bit of damage there. I'm going to actually switch to a character who can set down a damaging pool to better illustrate the time effect of it. So we'll use Kabuto. So there it's down. You notice he's up at 21 and it's missing up until 219. So again, there's a 2-second revival. There's a 2-second invincibility time where they're invincible for 2 seconds. You essentially can't damage them. Typically, I use that time to clear traps. So we're just going to set down some traps to kind of like showcase that. The only time I actually do this is if I haven't already set up a fighting space. If I have a fighting space, then I don't really have to do that. But typically, like, this is really useful if you're in the front of the room and you're kind of trapped there. You pretty much just you kill them quickly, and then you kind of run around and make sure there are no traps at the entrance, and then you've cleared your fighting area. So once he's dead, I'm pretty much just gonna make sure I set off. So now I have a fighting area. It's up 2 seconds. Now he starts taking damage. Easy. And that's pretty much just the strategy behind the resuscitation tile. Now we're gonna make it a little more interesting. The way that this is usually used is with Genjutsu Trap, and mostly because it's not difficult per se. It's really going to depend on who they have on there and then the layout. But one of the most common strategies is to have a Genjutsu with the revival tile, and then use Wara or someone like that. And essentially what you'll see now, this takes up 18 capacity. So I can only put down 2 traps if you see a revival tile or a resuscitation ninja with a Genjutsu trap. you only have to count 2 traps in that room. And those traps are usually going to be around, like we were talking about before in the Genjutsu video, they're going to be around the defender, or they're going to be around the Genjutsu trap. Because there's only 2 of them, they're always going to be 1 capacity trap. So it's going to be a 1 capacity ceiling scroll, a fence, or a bear trap. If they're bear traps, they're usually going to be around the front of the room if the defender is close, or they're going to be near the Genjutsu trap. If the defender is farther back in the room where they're near the Genjutsu trap, then it's probably worth noting that there are tornado traps at the start, and those are kind of designed to throw you into the room and spawn the defender. Because while you're in the air, you know, like 3.5 seconds you're in the room, the Genjutsu will activate. So those are pretty much like the common strategies behind the Resuscitation Ninja. I'm not going to pretty much get into anything else about that. So now we'll talk about the Toad House. Whoops. Installations. So that's going to be in the trap section, and it's going to be before, after Camouflage Mirror 2, and before the morning clock. So the first thing you'll notice is the Toad House is a 7 capacity trap, which is actually quite a bit. It does take up a 3x3 area, so you can't put this any place where you wouldn't be able to put a defender tile. So what this does is when an enemy runs over it, it traps them in the house. It actually heals them, and it stalls for time. So essentially, like, this is a stall tactic. You're not using this for any other reason other than to stall the enemy. We'll kind of just run in here really quick with whoever I'm using, Kabuto. This trap actually, well, obviously gets more useful the more damage you've had enemy take prior to getting in. You'll see I'm in here at 233. The effect lasts for 8 seconds. So even if I've taken no damage, once I get out, it's been 8 seconds. So it's an 8-second stall at best. Or I mean at worst. At best. So we're going to actually set up some installations. We're going to do poison. And we're going to do fire. And this is just so I can take quick damage. Wow, missed. Oh, it smells like cooking snake. Alright, so we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna wait till I get to 1 health. One more should do it. Alright. So we're at 1 health. I'll run into the house once this fire runs away. So I'm in the house at 202. And it's worth noting for this, at 1 health, it's going to take 32 to 33 seconds. It's going to heal for you for approximately 8% of your health every 2.5 seconds. So at best, like, this is a 33-second stall. You've pretty much trapped someone for a full minute. And because of that reason, it's actually really, really good to use with damage over time traps or Shinobi. So you see now I'm out at 169. Even though I was in there a little bit earlier than that. So I'm not gonna do it like at every point. It doesn't matter how much health your player has, because it heals 8%. It's always going to be the same amount of time based on the percentage. So you know, if you have full health, it's always going to be about 8 to 9 seconds. If you only have 1 health, it's always going to be 32 to 33 seconds, depending on like when you count whether the house is coming up or you're fully in it, whatever. That being said, you'll notice I did not take damage over time while in the house. You cannot be, while you can be inflicted with damage over time while you're in the house, you won't actually take any damage over time, damage while you're in the house, if that makes sense. So to showcase that, we're actually going to bring back Jiraiya from our revival tile. We're actually going to take off everything except for Sage art. Oh, so yeah, let's look at that. Sorry. Alright, so the reason why I left this on is because this has a large damage over time effect. I don't have Datara's ultimate. But you'll notice the damage over time icon here, it lasts for 41 seconds. So, as I was saying, you know, to test it, I will get hit by his damage over time and now run in the house. Typically, the damage over time should outlast the time I'm in the house, provided I take no damage. So I'm just going to quickly kind of like get hit by that and then get thrown into the house. So there it is at 233 or 234. And now I'm slowed. Alright, we're going to do this a different way. I'm going to kill him first, and then we're going to do that. He has a 12-second cooldown on that, so I gotta like wait a bit. Move. Sorry. So you'll notice I'm in the house a couple seconds after taking it. You'll notice again I'm not taking any damage over time while I'm in the house, but the idea is now when I get out of the house, I'm actually still damaged over time for the duration. You'll see I'm actually still taking damage. So this is actually a pretty good strategy if you want to use someone who has a large damage over time, such as Datara or Jiraiya. You put a Toad House like either right after or in their room, and essentially you've stalled them for a couple of seconds. Now they're still damaged over time even when they get taken out. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for Trap House Episode 2. Episode 3 will be soon. Oh, actually, let's talk about some common strategies for the Toad House. Like I was saying, you can do damage over time. I typically like to use these in the first room for stalling. So sometimes, actually, let's change the terrain. Let's do... So in a base like this, essentially like they would have to run through this path, so this is a good option for the house, or right here. Essentially you want to put the house in areas where players have to run through and you're putting pressure on them time wise. So houses go really well with damage over time bases and bases that are designed to stall people out. It's also worth noting, if you are using a stall base, you want your F4 to be very gate crash, anti-gate crash. Another strategy for the Toad House is to put it in a room with the defender. So I'll kind of showcase that really quick. We'll go back to let's see, store all traps. Summoning. This time we'll put poop. Crap. Did not mean to say the F word on this. We'll put someone like Minato. So you put this in a room with someone who's very like high mobility. Essentially, like you want everyone to run around the room because as they're chasing them, they actually get stuck in the house. And this is really good because Minato is a red unit who doesn't really take a lot of. He doesn't really need to take a lot of damage. Essentially, like, you know, once he starts up, and he hits you, it's pretty much GG. There's a couple of more strategies here about this, but I'm not gonna get too much into it because it's mostly about the house. You see, well, he just ults at me after getting damage over time, which is another thing. Characters who have damage over time or people who use mains that have damage over time, the house is very useful for, you know, stalling them if they get into a defender, and then once they get out, they get ultimated. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for Trap House Episode 2. If you do like this series, please like, subscribe, comment. So I do want to like say something about, I do this for fun. I don't get paid to make these videos. I do this because I enjoy this. I do this because I want to like inform the community that there are other ways to like play the game. There are other strategies that can be utilized other than what's popular, That being said, like, if you'd like me to make videos faster or put out content faster, then I would need like more subscriptions. Like, if I have more subscribers, then I'm pretty much like, I realize this is probably worth more of my time than what I can put in currently. So yeah, just gonna leave you all with that tidbit. Hope everyone's staying safe and doing well. Bingo book episode, I think 13 we're on now, should be out soon. I'll also do a Goku Nin series before the end of the week, and then I'm also working on another series which I will release. But yeah, like, if I get more subscribers, then I can probably like try to bump up how often I can put out videos or content. But otherwise, it's probably gonna stay at this space so I can still have a life. But yeah, so that's it. DemonKyo out. Peace.